Hey guys, I'm Ann Williams. Thanks for joining me today. You're in my studio. I thought I'd give you an opportunity to maybe take a little tour around my roughly 12-foot by 16-foot studio. This studio space is here in my basement at my house, and I spend anywhere from, I don't know, maybe an hour to 4 or 5 hours a day coming down in the studio and working things. Now, of course, that switches depending on what life looks like at any given moment. I do have 3 kids, and so that is an adjustment every day as to when I'm in the studio and what I need to do. But I just wanted to give you a little tour here as we get started. So you found me working on my mosaic work. When I am into work here, this is probably where you're going to find me. I built up my table with some paint cans actually from the house so that it's up and I don't have to lean over quite so far. And if it's a particularly small piece, maybe like this one, as I get further, I might even lift it up a little bit further so that I don't have to lean in so far. But I generally will work on 2 or 3 of these pieces on this table at a time. Right now I just have the one set up because I'm getting ready to do some new work right now. So I might also use this table for things like little watercolors. I'm just doing some little practices and tests. Yes, I'm obsessed with trees. You'll see them all over the studio. But over on this wall here, and kind of as you can see all the way around, this is my storage area. So I've got all sorts of different things I can pull from. So there's paints up here, there's brushes, there's clay, there's markers, and all sorts of different things. And this is kind of my favorite part. So I have this painting that I call a pencil painting because I've been painting on it with pencils, and like the side of a pencil. But I get to take it down and reveal all the glass and other supplies I have. So oftentimes I'm moving this painting around quite a bit in order to get to materials I need. But as you can see, the studio isn't super big, so I try to utilize the space as best I can. So back behind this table, I've got some buckets of gesso and varnish that are kind of taking up space, so I kind of use that as a place to put some pieces that I'm contemplating and maybe putting into practice. This small child's table gets used an awful lot for adhesive or finishing up frames or working with plaster or whatever might be needed. I'm actually pressing some resin pieces onto paintings right now, and so I'll use the floor to do that. Looks like I got that one stuck. So here's one that I've been working on. I've got the piece of paper at least put down, and then the next part we'll be putting the tree on it. So that's kind of like the drying rack area. And then back behind this sign behind me is where a water heater is for the house, but I use that for things like grout and plaster and all that kind of stuff. It's in a tub back in there because I'm not always accessing that stuff. I like to kind of keep it out of the way. And then over here you've got drawers of paints, and then you have a table that I made out of some old barnwood and some other scrap pieces we had around in our garage. And this is kind of, I would say this is like the main hub of the studio for me. This is where I have all of my tools on the walls. This is where I have workspace. If I'm cutting anything, I put down a clean piece of board and I do that here. If I need to write anything down, that's usually right here. So it's kind of like the main hub. And then I've got some things on the walls here. Just kind of surrounding myself with memories, with moments, and with things that make me smile. And then over on this table is all of my plaster work. So if I'm either doing plaster or grouting, this is where I'll work. I'll work on this table. And so that way it keeps the dust and everything down here. And then periodically I'm in here having to clean everything up because of that. And oddly enough, if I'm going to take a picture of a piece of artwork, my light studio is this wall right here. So that means all of this has to move to the other side of the room so that I can utilize some studio lights to take photographs of my work. I also have just kind of down here are all sorts of journals that I have used over the years to kind of get my thoughts out, do some contemplating, do some praying, do some biblical study, and different things like that. So this is my space. welcome to the studio, and I'll invite you in here from time to time and you can come and see what I'm working on. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great afternoon.